可以。
嗨，大家好。我的名叫做陈文义，文化的文，后裔的裔。我的英文名字是 Leona。我在古金刷出世大汉的，今年19岁。我知的大家就到这里了。So from now on， 我会用中文、台语跟英文混着讲。If that's okay with you。跟你们说个故事，我为什么会讲中文？是因为我们在家一定要讲中文。It's like a 一定要讲中文。I remember 我跟我妹妹小时候在餐桌也很喜欢啰嗦，很喜欢讲话，很喜欢讲笑话，然后就讲得很吵。然后大家说哦好可爱，两个女生那么活泼，就看我们这样瞪我们讲中文。所以我的中文听得懂也会讲，然后台语是因为我妈妈常常会打电话给我的阿公阿嬷，然后我们就会听到 Leona 就会知道说哦，妈妈一定在讲我们的坏话，坏话我们一定要懂。就每天这边听偷听，然后越听就开始懂台语。你不要一半是听得懂，一半是乱翻译。可是重点是 like we kind of knew what was going on, but kind of not really. And so 刚刚I有帮我介绍一下，I'm at Washington University. I'm in the business school. 可是 my focus beyond business is on Asian American identity and how we relate to other people of color. And how our definition of survival and of success is defined for ourselves, by ourselves, and by other people. And so one of the ways that we do that is through storytelling. 所以我今天的演讲叫做“你的故事，我的未来 The Power of Storytelling to Bridge Generational Gaps”。然后说句实话，我有点紧张，因为阿姨给我40分钟讲话。那我从来没有讲过那么久的过，所以 I'm hoping 今天晚上不只是演讲，是一个对话，所以我讲一点，你们讲一点，因为我对你们的故事很有兴趣。And so can I get the next slide, please? 再一次。OK， 看不太清楚。Oh, go back. Yeah， 看不太清楚。可是我想要介绍一下 my development into understanding my Taiwanese American identity. And so 我非常幸福，非常好运。我在北加州长大。In 北加州 we have a ton of Taiwanese people. 我们还有小台北 ，you know that's how you know how Taiwanese it is. 然后我8岁的时候，我妈妈跟一群台湾家长一起开了一家佛利蒙台湾学校。佛利蒙是我住的地方，所以我就每个礼拜5晚上去这个地方学台语、学中文、学。什么写繁体字，然后读繁体字，然后学台湾文化跟历史。然后我们学台湾文化的一个方法就是舞蹈，所以我的朋友都在学芭蕾舞啊，学 jazz， 我在学山地舞跟水袖舞。So that was my childhood, and it was extremely fortunate that I had that. 我现在回想，我觉得我非常幸福，可以有这个经验。The thing is though， 我比较大，因为其他的小朋友都那时候5岁、4岁，所以我8岁算可爱，可是5岁更可爱 ，you know。So 我们跳山地舞的时候，你看不太清楚，可是我是最大只的那个，最大只的，所以人家穿山地服到这边，我穿迷你裙，然后我因为比较大比较高，所以我们跳哈嘎的采茶舞，我都需要演男生。所以女生就可以那边玩头发，然后飘来飘去的很漂亮。那我就要扛个工具上山做苦工。所以后来真的是不够可爱，所以我大概14岁、15岁的时候开始当他们的司仪。然后我当他们的司仪的时候，我就要介绍这些舞蹈的历史的文化。所以譬如说，我们为什么要跳山地舞？为什么要跳八家将？为什么要跳采茶舞？然后我因为做这些介绍，我就一直做调查，我才会有这个经验可以学台湾的文化。So my understanding of Taiwan is very, very old school. I know about the temples, I know about the masks. That's what I know of Taiwan. And then when I got to college, which is this section, I started writing as a way to explore Taiwanese identity. And so some of you have read my article. It's called In Honor of Taiwanese Identity and Ancestry. And so that's where I talk about how I came to understand that I knew a lot about being Taiwanese, I knew a lot about being American, but Taiwanese American is still a very weird identity that I think we all struggle with sometimes, where we're not quite sure what that means. When people ask us, we're kind of like, oh, it means you're from Taiwan, but you live here, but what does that culture look like? And so for a lot of us, that's an issue that we're still struggling with ourselves. And then I also wrote about our relationship with other communities of color. So that's where the conversation gets a little bit difficult, is us considering what do Taiwanese Americans have in terms of agency when it comes to a broader discussion on race relations. So we're all living in St. Louis, we know what happened in Ferguson. How do Taiwanese Americans want to react to this in a way that demonstrates how powerful we are as a community and how much love and light we have for each other and for other people of color. And then my last project is called Taiwan, and it's T and then I as in love, one. And I was like, oh, it's so creative, but it's really not. Everyone does that. And so it's called Lessons of Love from a Culture Forever in Protest. 然后再看台湾文化 through frameworks of culture protest, of social activism. So we all know what's happening in Taiwan with the sunflower movement and with the anti-revisionist movements, all student-led, so can we get a round of applause for that? That's just, if anybody writes a book about modern Taiwan, this is what they should focus on, is student-led protests. Because I think that if we should define Taiwan's spirit and Taiwanese culture through anything, it should be by our love for our country and what we do to demonstrate that love. And so I have done a lot of research into what protest culture in Taiwan looks like, and a theme that I found in all three of my writings with our community integration, with assimilation and immigration, and even the work that we're doing in Taiwan, is this lack of communication between 第一代, 第二代, or our parents and our children. So that lack of communication, I think, is what leads to a very broken Taiwanese American narrative. So for example, I know a lot of kids here, your kids, don't really want to know about their Taiwanese heritage. It's just not interesting to them, or it's not relevant. And I want us to all think about why that is, and who told us and who told our children that where you come from does not matter. And then I want us to think about it in terms of what's happening in Taiwan, where their parents think the kids that are protesting, 只是在玩，他们不太懂事. Who told them that this work was not important when they were the ones who were fighting for democracy the year I was born? And so there's a lot of discussions that we need to have between first generation, second generation, and beyond. I'm here as a representative of the second generation, and so let's start the conversation. So next slide, please. I want to ask all of you, what does it really mean to you to be Taiwanese American? And there's no right answer for this. I just want to know from your experience, from your perspective, what has that looked like for you? So please volunteer.
Food.
Food, yeah. So I think that for a lot of us, food is, like, our thing is jaba, but we have to talk about food all the time, right? And so food is a really great way for us to have this representative of our culture, but I think we can all say that it goes beyond that. So for you, when you think of yourself as a Taiwanese American, what does that mean to you?
I think we need to be in the forefront, to be colored people in America as a minority.
Yes.
And be progressive.
Absolutely.
And do something right.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
you know.
Okay, I have similar feeling that our Chinese actually is more highly educated and to come to the United States and come here to have further study and to become actually should be the leaders of this society.
Absolutely. So really high education. I know a lot of you came here either in pursuit of higher education or to apply your higher education. So there's this sense of Taiwanese Americans being part of the model minority, where we all just really are great at science and engineering, and a lot of you are amazing at science and engineering. But I think that collectively as a community, can we also make space for artists and writers, so that when we look on screen and we wonder why aren't there any Taiwanese people on screen, it's because you wouldn't let your kids study film, you know? And so we need people who are willing to be more creative. Not that science isn't creative, but we need to have more empowerment and the diverse talents that are within the Taiwanese American community. And did you have something to say? Did you want to say something? No? Okay. What?
No, I'm an American, but at the same time, I'm from Taiwan, and I have a lot of American friends playing ball with, work with together. And during these interactions, I found out that a lot of American people, my friends, don't understand Taiwan that much, that well. So as a Taiwanese American, through communication, playing ball together, I use every opportunity to talk about Taiwan.
Yeah, so
Okay.
people like you are so important. It's people like you who want to what's the right word? Inject yourself into these conversations about anything in particular, just so we have an Asian American voice or a Chinese American voice in these conversations. So for example, at WashU, because of what happened in Ferguson, everyone is watching St. Louis and seeing what we'll do. And so we have all these conversations about race and race relations, but all I hear is black and white. There's this paradigm of a black and white linear spectrum, and if you don't fit on it, they just say, this conversation is not for you. And you go, wait a minute, I live in St. Louis, I'm a person of color, what I do somehow affects this balance of power and these power structures here in the United States. And so I think that as Taiwanese Americans and the people that I love and respect the most, we have an obligation to enter these conversations and say that we demand to have agency and a voice at this table of race relations. Because the more we say, oh, we don't want to disturb them, we don't want to disrupt the peace, the more they are able to say that we are foreigners who will never have a place in this narrative. Any other comments? Yeah.
Yes, I think we probably, through my own experience, Taiwanese American, probably the most important service is to show your passion, to be passionate in whatever you do. I think this is probably the one we got involved from the culture, in the cultural exchange. So when I go back to Taiwan, I see the new generation, very passionate. Then here, Taiwanese American, we can be as good as the forefront, the American or whatever. So the passion is probably in your life. Do whatever you are involved. That's probably the most important.
Absolutely. Anybody else want to say something?
I second that. So I'm a physician. So what I